Alrighty then, how are we doing? Welcome to the Viper 3v1 round 2, almost 2 years later than initially planned. No, 2 years later than the last 3v1 that he played. I'm so used to saying 1v1 that I find it difficult to say 3v1 now. But this is going to be really exciting. It's basically the Viper in blue here, down to the very south of the map, and oh gosh, he's got Koreans. His opponents, all three of his mighty opponents, over to the left of the map in green is Army of Militia, playing as the Chinese. Up to the very north is People's Champ in the red, playing as the Saracens. And over to the very far right of the map in the yellow is Black Death, playing as the Spanish. 3v1 is the game, and you know, this is going to be challenging. It's Arabia, and that means that Viper will be very open to raiding from all angles, and my god, his map, it's diabolical. We will have a look at all of them very soon, but we're going to obviously try and focus on the Viper here, as he is the one fighting off 3 people simultaneously. Now, this wood here is pretty dire for him. It's to the left of his TC. It's fairly close, but it's kind of difficult to get a lumber camp up on there that's going to be effective. I mean, here is probably the only place where it's worth putting a lumber camp. Back here, again, he's got a little lake, but you know, he is going to have a really tough time, maybe even finding these sheep. They're in a really tough spot, and he should get them out there, but again, horrible wood back here. This wood, again, is disgustingly bad. It's on a hill and it's very narrow. And his other option is to come over here, which is pathetic. So for the Viper, yeah, there we go. We see him putting the lumber camp right there. This is a pretty nasty map. I mean, if he's playing a 3v1, the chances are he's going to be at some point on the defensive. And if he's got no way to wall it up, no way to get safe, then it's going to be really difficult for him. But I recommend that you guys keep an eye on the score as well in this game, because you're going to see just how far ahead he gets in score as the game progresses. He's already got a good 20-point score lead. But I really hope that these guys can get one over on him. I kind of really hope that they take a win. It would be difficult, and well, we'll have a look at their maps and see what's going on here. Green, off to a pretty horrible start, to be honest with you. His map is looking nasty. He's doing some weird, crazy build where he sends 3, 6, 9, 10, 11 villagers to food and not build a lumber camp. Now these guys really have to make sure that they take their boar, and it looks like this guy will take his boar, but at the moment he's forgetting that he needs a lumber camp, and he's not taking any wood, which is probably a very big problem for him. If he doesn't send another villager to take wood soon, he's going to find himself, well, in the dog's house. I mean, he's not got a lumber camp, he doesn't have enough wood for a lumber camp, and he needs 2 buildings to go up to the feudal age. So I've got no idea what this guy is doing at the moment, and it's going to be pretty difficult, I think, for him to kind of have a good feudal time here, though he is taking a shed load of food very early. Over on the right side, Black Death, I mean, at least they're luring their boar in. This guy seems to have a decent build order, actually. He's lured his boar in just fine. He's got 4 villagers on wood. He is building his mill now at the right time as well, but he hasn't found all of his... Oh, he has. He's just not brought them over to his TC. So yellow seems pretty competent, and he's got the highest score of all of his teammates. And yeah, not a bad map for him. He's got a back gold here, and although his wood's not the best, it's difficult to get a good wood when you've got lakes on Arabia anyway. Now red here, he's as well luring his boar, 4 villagers on wood. Would have been better for him to put a lumber camp on this right hand side, because the left hand side, much less wood there for him to take. But again, lakes causing a lot of problems. But he's got back goal, which is nice, and I think he's going to be okay. I think Viper in this situation would be wise to go for a fast castle. We'll see what he does exactly, but I think because his opponents are likely to be slower to get an attack out, because they're likely to have a slower Dark Age, I think the Viper could probably get away with making a few more villagers and going for a fast castle style. I mean, that way he's going to be able to get the stronger units out much faster, and you know, he's not going to be able to do that much damage to them if he attacks in the feudal age, because sure, he might take 1 player out, but it's probably not going to be enough. Green then has finally just just got his mill up, but he's still not got a lumber camp, which means he still can't go to the feudal age. He's making a lot of villagers, actually, a lot of villagers queued up here, and it looks pretty messy for him. He's not got any sheep left. He's probably going to send a load of villagers over to berries, and well, his build order is pretty messy, to be honest with you. He really needs to get a lumber camp up, send 4 or 5 villagers over there, and send another 2 over to these berries, and also make a couple of farms with the weakened villagers here. But at the moment he's not doing that because he spent so long taking food and not actually taking any wood. He can't afford any farms at all, and I think he's going to struggle here to go feudal. If he actually cancels that villager and drops this food, he should be able to do it, but no. He's spreading out, finally getting his lumber camp up, and that's a bad placement, by the way. He should probably put it here as, that's kind of right on the tip. It's not very efficient. But either way, these guys doing okay for now. The Viper's up to the feudal age for sure. You can tell by his score here, dropping behind the other guys. And interestingly enough, he's going up on 23 population, and he is doing a standard kind of feudal build here. He's playing as the Koreans, so I mean we can probably expect to see archers from him. But we'll see what he does exactly. Now I'm just going to check real quick that the stream is okay. And bear with me to check that it is. Yeah, it's all good. Viper asking who wants to die first. Well, we'll see about that. He's about scouting out yellow now, and I think he's probably going to want to focus down the player who's got the highest points. Either that or take out the player who's got the lowest points. I don't know. So far though, no one else is up to the feudal age but the Viper here. They're all on 25 population, and maybe we'll see fast castles from all of them, because they don't seem to be going up on 22, which is kind of the standard feudal age population. Black Death here going up on 25 pop, perhaps then going for some kind of weird fast castle build. We'll have to wait and see, but I mean he's only got 2 villagers on gold at the moment. He's not taking deer because they're a bit far away by looks of it, and well, he's got a couple of sheep left, so I mean it's possible for him to do, but you'll see a mistake he's made here. This villager and this villager, they both have 4 and 10 HP respectively. Now he should have built farms with those, because that means that the Viper's not going to be able to pick them off. Now if yellow here sends these villagers out to maybe take gold or take berries, then he's going to find himself in a bad spot, because that villager is 1 or 2 shots away from dying, depending. So, he's got to be very careful. Viper here taking the attack advantage on this hill will deal damage to that scout, and look at the difference of the hill bonus there that makes. He will take out yellow's scout. He could do it. He's going to get it. He's going to get yellow's scout. No, he's not. Okay. He could have done. He only needed 1 more hit there, and he would have taken him out. And maybe he's looking for that very soon. It seems like he will go and attack yellow first. He's building 2 ranges, which is expected, because Koreans, of course, much more suited to go archers in the feudal age than anything else. Perhaps he'll upgrade to crossbow, maybe add some knights in on the castle age. I feel like he needs a little bit of maneuverability here to make it pay off. He did get that scout after all. And, yellow is indeed going for a fast castle here. He's putting up his archery range and market now, and I think Viper would probably be wise to attack him first, and indeed he is going to do that. I wonder what knowledge he has of his base. He doesn't see that he is building a market in blacksmith, so he doesn't know that he's fast castling, but I think he could probably judge by the timings of these guys that fast castle is probably in the works. Red here looks pretty strong, actually. He's got a very good build order by the looks of things. Viper, though, going to try and pick that villager off there. Probably will get it as well if he doesn't get back to the TC quickly. Going to deny that blacksmith, slow down Red's castle time, which is obviously going to be a big deal indeed. And Red now going to send over those villagers. Viper will attempt to get some more damage done, but probably going to want to move out the way. Move out the way. There we go. But Red going up with a stable and a blacksmith, so, he's going to go with a fast castle, going to start spamming knights, and Viper really can't afford to stay in the feudal age for too long here. Yellow forced up with a watchtower in his wood line. Viper going to take a couple of losses there, just 1 loss for now, but going to struggle really getting in there and doing damage. As Yellow is looking to fast castle still, he has got the buildings to do it, so he is going to click up probably after this villager, but, you know, risky. When your opponent's fast castling and you can attack them in the feudal age, you're going to do a lot of eco damage because they've not got any military. And Yellow's economy now completely messed up by these archers, and Viper's already, you know, making a lot of damage to him. We don't see any second military building either from Yellow, so, I mean, what's he going to do? Is he going to make knights? Well, he's Spanish, so it makes sense for him to make knights. But at the moment he doesn't have a stable, he doesn't have a whole lot of food income, and he will try for knights, that is for sure, but whether or not he'll get that many out, well, we'll have to wait and see. Attack coming in on green on the left-hand side, and, well, green does seem the weakest of the players so far, and, you know, it's risky. He's fast castling as well, and Viper's in now with these archers. Thankfully he does have loom, so he's not going to die in an instant, and, well, there's one pick already. Green calling archers now, and I think Viper's going to do a lot of damage over here because green just doesn't have anything at the moment. He's building up an archery range. And it looks like he's trying to fast castle as well. But, you know, fast castling on Arabia is so risky because your opponents can attack you with a feudal army and take down so many of your units. Viper is pretty offensive at the moment, allowing him to take these deer quite comfortably. He knows that no one's going to send an attack over, and he's taking liberties on that. He's going to be able to get out a little bit of extra eco here, and, well, I imagine he's going to go castle in a few moments' time. He's going to aim for that reasonably soon, because he doesn't want to be caught out in the feudal age when his opponents are all castle and making knights and such. More villager picks over here on the right, and just sending a few archers over to either side. Green making a spearman, probably the worst choice possible. Will get taken down very quickly by archers, but skirmishes out for green here. And he should defend okay with that. Viper could micro like crazy here and try and take them down, because he does have +1 attack and range over green, but probably not worth the effort of doing that. It seems like he's trying to get a little bit of harassment on everyone here. Yellow building a TC here. One villager going down again. And that TC will go up, so the Viper needs to move, otherwise he will lose those archers. And Yellow now adding in some knights as well. And Viper, we're looking to move out over to red here. Red with 2 stables. Now this is really risky. Viper's going to see 1 stable at least. He's got no idea about the second, but I imagine he will see quite a few knights coming out from red, heading straight towards his base. And now this is where it could get a little bit dicey for him. Their pocket player does seem pretty strong actually, and well, Viper's only got a few archers with +1 attack to defend from knights coming over with bloodlines, but no defense upgrades yet. But even so, might be a little tough for him, and you know, he's looking for the castle age now, but he may want to add in a few more spears once he sees how many knights are going to be heading his way. He's trying to do a bit of damage to red here. Red taking a good action by building this siege workshop, but he's made a big mistake. He didn't wall this off, and Viper's going to get a couple of villager picks over here in this wood line quite early on. So good stuff indeed, but knights coming in now could be a real problem for him, as obviously, you know, his gold very easily harassable, the wood over here and the stone as well. So I think Viper could be in for a little bit of trouble, but red might be forced back here because he's got a lot of archers in his base to deal with, and obviously if he can't deal with them properly, then he may have to send his knights back. But instead, he's keeping on with the attack, and well, we'll see what he manages to pick off. Viper's first losses could be incoming. Green, 2 TCs going up straight away, playing pretty defensive, but it seems like all of these guys aiming to do some fast castle builds, so we'll see how this one goes. Archers coming in now. Villagers just getting back to the TC, and Viper may lose quite a few archers if he's not careful, but under the TC fire, these knights are going to go down pretty quick even so. Did just hear a villager die. I'm not quite sure how. There's knights coming in from yellow on the right-hand side. And, well, now this is pretty nasty. Viper is castle, and he will upgrade crossbow as soon as he gets up to the castle age. But obviously defending right under his TC now. Going to be in the defensive position for quite some time. He's still managing to get some villager picks over here, though. Going to get a couple of picks on these villagers. That's good. That's more than he took damage, and it seems to me like he's trying to hit all of them roughly, well, equally, to keep them all kind of down and out. But yellow here may get a couple more villager picks in this wood line. And as I say, Viper's map is horrible. His wood is so open and easily exposed. Yellow just running straight past these villagers though. It looks like he's going to turn around and make an attack now. And Viper now castle, so we're going to see the crossbow upgrade coming in very shortly, as well as, well, currently padded archer armor and bodkin arrow in just a moment's time. Making use of the hills, of course, trying to take hill advantage wherever possible. And so far, dealing with the knight raiding pretty well. Once he gets crossbow done and bodkin arrow, he's going to take the knights down pretty quickly. He's very close to getting a critical mass of archers now, and I imagine he's probably going to add another archery range soon, or maybe a stable, but I think archery range makes more sense. Now, because he's in such a pressured position, you see he's taken stone for quite some time. It looks like he's going to add in the second and third TC really quickly, but we may see a fourth TC as well. He really needs to get ahead of these guys in eco, so that in the late game, he's not really pressured. I mean, in the early game, everyone's focused on building eco and getting their eco up and running. But in the late game, when everyone's focused on building military, the Viper will potentially have 3 times as many enemies as he's got himself. So he needs to get to that stage quickly and take one of them out quickly. Green here coming in with some elite skirms, and now that's probably going to be a big issue for the Viper, as obviously he only has crossbows at the moment, reacting with the siege workshop very quickly, and meanwhile raiding yellow over here on the right hand side as well. Very nicely done on over there. But green could get some villager picks here. Obviously skirmish is pretty bad at fighting villagers. They don't do a lot of damage, and he doesn't have fletching. He does have +2 defense though, which again is going to make it quite difficult for the Viper to attack this head-on with crossbows. And due to his wood being so bad, he's got no wood income at the moment. He's going back to his TC now with these villagers, and, well, he's not good enough for a mangonel. So he has to fight this with the crossbows. He has got the attack advantage and range because, of course, he does have bodkin arrow researched. So he's got to be careful, because he's fighting these skirms. They've gone straight for the hill advantage, and Viper may lose a lot of army here very, very quickly. Yellow's eco is completely messed up at the moment, though. And, wow, Viper over here taking quite a few losses, but microing very well. These guys trying to attack the crossbows here, which are avoiding all the attacks, whilst Viper's crossbows attack from either side. Looks like he will just defend for now, but cavalry archers coming in from Army of Militia. Now, it's the first time I've ever seen cavalry archers from a Chinese player, I think. And he's getting aggressive now with an extra 2 archery ranges on the front. It looks like Viper's in a pretty nasty position, and he's really desperately trying to get that mangonel out. There we go. He's got it. Now he can start to defend a little bit more effectively. He's going to try and micro that mangonel well, so that he can take out these units. And if they are bunched together, he'll probably do a pretty decent job of it. At the moment, really screwing Yellow over. Yellow has very few farmers, very little food income, and obviously he's got 3 TCs up at the moment as well, which means that either he has to sacrifice villager production, which he's not producing any, or sacrifice knight production, and in actual fact he's got 7 knights queued up. Pro tip to anyone out there, don't queue your buildings up like that. If you've got 7 knights queued up in a stable, then you should probably build another stable. That's just a little word of wisdom there. So Mangonel doing a great job of defending now, but as I said at the very start of this game, Viper's wood is so horrible. He's working at taking the wood over here now, but as I say, it's not very ideal for him in the slightest. Second, third TC going up on the stone currently, but I'm really concerned about Red. Red is just kind of booming up back at home. He's got 4 TCs now, and if we have a look at the villager count for all of them, in fact Red and Green even, both have more villagers than the Viper, so his raiding really hasn't been so effective on those guys. Yellow has the least villagers at the moment, but he has been raided quite heavily for a while, and obviously idle TCs and all that as well. But I think Red's going to be a real issue in the late game, because, you know, he's got the 4 TCs up, he's playing as the Saracens, so we're going to see a very strong army combination. He could go for siege onagers, he could also, of course, go for Mamelukes, and, well, light cavalry could be on the cards as well here, but lots of stables coming up for him, and I imagine if he doesn't get raided, he will be Imperial reasonably soon, in which case the Viper's going to have a lot of trouble on his hands. Alright, he's up to the 4th TC as well here on the wood to help protect this, and he's still not found these sheep. He'll probably find them very soon. Good little bit of raiding here on the left though. Looking to deal some damage with green. But I'm concerned about red, as I said. I feel like the Viper here could end up getting shafted by red if he doesn't do any damage to him anytime soon. So far, looking reasonable. But now, green coming in with knights, cavalry archers, and skirmishers. No upgrades on really any of them, aside from the +2 defense and fletching, but knights from yellow as well. And Viper's army is kind of AFK at the moment. It's over here, and he doesn't have a whole lot of it. So it's going to be tough for him to defend, especially when there's knights and archers mixed into this. So we'll see what the Viper does. He's not making any crossbows at the moment. He's not making anything from the siege workshop, but I don't think he's really seen the knights down here. Yellow trying to get those knights into play, but this is really good demonstration of how strong the Mangonel can be. Viper putting a castle up on this hill. Pretty good location there, actually. It's going to protect this this stone. It's going to give him a lot of sight on this right-hand side. Yellow making quite a big classic mistake here, sending a ram in with no support. That is usually quite painful because it gets taken down so easily. The castle is up, war wagons coming out, and I almost was going to just say maybe we'll see some war wagons, and indeed we will. Very, very tanky units. I wonder if yellow is coming forwards here with a castle. Oh no, just stables. But obviously, a big problem for the Viper now is the lack of map control. He doesn't have a whole lot of map control currently, and it's kind of painful for him, to say the least. Not having map control is kind of not what he likes. He likes to be able to control the map and feel like he's in control of the situation, but when he's playing very defensively like this, it can be pretty nasty. The Viper's got 1,500 gold at the moment, and it looks to me like he is just saving it up because, I don't know, it seems odd that he would have so much. Obviously, war wagons are pretty expensive, but more in the wood department, so I'm not really sure why he's got so much gold currently. I don't know if he's been using his market, perhaps. In fact, he doesn't have a market, so never mind that. And it seems like they've got a little pause here. So let me just check the stream chat, make sure everything's all good. Yeah, it looks absolutely fine. And, well, waiting for other players. Looks like a pause. So, what do you guys think? Do you think Viper's going to win it? Or do you think it's the 3v1 is going to be too much for him in this situation? I still think that Red's looking pretty menacing over here. I think he could be up to the Imperial Age, actually. Wow, never mind. No, he's not. He's just making a lot of knights by the looks of it with 5 stables. Holy shit. Viper's going to be up against 5 knights at a time. Considering as well that green's rushing him on the left, yellow is rushing him on the right with knights also. It's going to be pretty difficult for him, I think. Now, I'm just wondering how long this pause is going to be. I'm hoping not too long, because obviously you guys are waiting to see this game as well. And, well, scores currently say that Viper's in the lead, 4,700 points. But obviously the other 3 guys add up to 9,000, well, probably 10,000 points. So they're almost doubling him in score if you combine all 3 of them. So it is going to be an uphill struggle for him, I think. It seems like to me he's trying to castle up where he can, and that's really going to, of course, help him with his defences here. And the game unpauses, but I think they may have repaused. I'm not sure why or what or who or when, but I'm sure they'll unpause very shortly. And I don't know, I really don't know where the Viper's going to go from here. Against that many knights, he'd probably be wise to start making some pikes to help defend, because there's no way he's going to be able to make enough crossbows here to really, you know, get back into it in a big way. Obviously, with raiding coming in from the left and red now coming across the front of the map with a lot of knights, spearmen, I think, are in order. That is kind of what I'm feeling at the moment. Viper's making a lot of war wagons here, though, and yeah, as I said, they're very expensive to create, and you know he's not very walled up either, so this could be pretty nasty for him very shortly. Another castle going up in his eco, and yeah, it seems like he's just trying to get very defensive here, so that he can manage with the amount of knights that are incoming. Things are about to get pretty hectic now, as red's coming in on the left side, along with green. Knights in tow. Surprised he's not got more upgrades here, to be honest with you. The war wagons +2 attack and +2 defense, so pretty capable of doing good damage here. Red now getting +2 defense on the knights though, so obviously gonna be a little bit more resilient there. Green's gonna deny this castle though, and that's bad news for Viper. That is horrible news for him. And you know what? That I didn't speed the game up in time. Viper now though losing a hell of a lot. This is really bad news for him. Trying to put up some houses really quickly over here, but obviously being raided so heavily, making it very difficult, and he's still not adding in any pikemen. Still taking a lot of stone though, still looking to get that castle up. He will indeed do it, and that of course will help him to defend. Market going up on the left. It looks like he's trying to sell some resources at the moment. He's got no food income whatsoever, making it extremely difficult for him to actually pull this off. A castle from green on the left hand side, and I think Viper might have just met his match here. Rams coming in as well over here also to take out this castle, and well, the Viper is in a horrible position currently. Siege Workshop going up behind this, and while he's not giving it up just yet, he still has the score lead over all of them, and he's still pumping out those war wagons. Currently though, I'm not sure if he's really using his market all that much. I think he probably should be. Trying to get some farms up, really trying to get some farms up, and green now into the Imperial Age. We'll probably see some trebuchets coming out from him, as they're going to start dealing damage to these castles, and Viper, no way is he going to get Imperial here. There's not a chance in hell. And I think these guys can sense the victory. He's got very little wood income on this right hand side. Only this little lumber area to get any wood. He's going to lose this first TC. This castle is under fire. And the Viper is looking like he's on his way down. Mangonel's out though, looking to do a lot of damage here. And green losing a hell of a lot of units. I'm surprised he's making cavalry archers as the Chinese. I'm very surprised. And Viper's getting raided by Yellow's knights, but he's still making those war wagons. He's still hanging on in there, but this is looking like it's too much to handle, if you ask me. I really feel like he could have gone fast castle with knights, and it would have helped him out a lot more. Capped rams coming in, the Trebs still of course being a huge pain in the ass. And well, Viper's economy is pretty much non-existent now. 2 castles on the right, on the front of his base, doing that damage, and how has he got 130 population still? I just don't know. Try to get up some mills here to get some food, and he's pushing out on the right. That Mangonel going to get a huge shot here if he's able to land it. Looks like he might. Oh, Yellow just moving out of the way. Reasonably good micro there, but the left side of Viper's base completely open now, literally just defending with those war wagons, and that's it. Viper is GG, and he actually loses the 3v1. Very well played by these guys. Obviously, a lot more difficult for him than the last 3v1 that we saw. But seriously, that was very impressive indeed. He managed to hold out for quite some time. And, well, as I said before, I think red really was the big problem for him there. If we have a look, he was Imperial, and obviously a Saracen Imperial against a Castle Age Korean is not very nice. But yeah, really fun game actually. Viper did a lot of damage in the Feudal Age, you'd be surprised. But all of them with the fast castle strat was just too much to handle, really. And ultimately just led to his downfall. What a game. What a game. I don't know if they're going to play another. I don't think they will by the looks of it. But man, Viper bested. Let's come back and...